Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now September 6th of 2025, and given that the Meghan Markle backlash is only growing in numbers ever since Season 2 released and was an ultimate ratings disaster for Netflix, and of course, really causing Ted Sarandos to fall into a state of panic, because we know that this all falls back on him. He is the very individual that actually gave Meghan Markle the green light to actually come back with a handful of one-off projects after Season 2. That of course includes the holiday special, aka the Christmas special. But moving on beyond all of this, we know that Meghan Markle has been going on multiple examples of damage control, really trying to piece everything together when it comes to the whole shattered mess over at Netflix, right? She's trying to put everything back together again, and it's just not working. Now, we know one thing about all of this is that Meghan Markle, at the end of the day, is trying to just remain relevant as far as she sees it, as far as she sees herself, and it's just not working at all in her favor. Now, one thing about, the whole situation between Meghan and Netflix is that we already know that there's been a lot of things going on right now when it comes to the Season 2 ratings, when it comes to the feedback, the reviews, everything else in between. It's causing a lot of confusion with Netflix customers as to why Netflix is still doubling down on everything Meghan Markle, and that's why you're having a lot of customers leaving or considering to leave at this point as well. There's a mixture of both, and heading to other platforms out there. However, what's interesting here has a lot more to do with what Meghan Markle recently had to say, and actually gave out a quote-unquote serious warning to the general public, and how it's really beginning to actually look bad on herself. Let's get into the actual details about all of that. Now, with the Meghan Markle fiasco still at large behind the scenes and in the public after Season 2 was a ratings disaster, one major development going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle giving out another warning in a serious behavior to the general public, as she has been playing the victim and also getting very defensive for weeks now. Meghan recently delivered the following after realizing just how big of a ratings failure Season 2 was. As a woman of color, one very important warning that I feel I have to put out there to the world right now must be said. As an actress and as a mother, the criticism that we received for Season 2 wasn't just criticism, it was an obvious sign that our country is heading in the wrong direction, and that the feedback we received for our latest season at Netflix was an attack on women and a severe case of misogyny and sexism from the toxic male demographic. Looking at my brand like As Ever, and now with Love Meghan, I feel I have to give out this warning to everyone, because society right now is falling apart, and we are witnessing this based on the recent attacks on Hollywood and the arts. The criticism that we received was not fair, and nor was it balanced. It was an act against women and actresses in Hollywood, and just how this is leading us to an even more divided country. After we carefully examined the criticism for With Love Meghan and the feedback that we received, this was obviously coming from not just a politically driven place, but also those that are so against diversity. And diversity is the heart and soul of America, especially here in California, where we want to expand the With Love Meghan brand at Netflix and where we actually film these locations. Shame on everyone who participated in the many examples of misogyny. I'm here to be a better woman, a better actress and performer, and even a better mother. And though my storytelling, I feel I can heal the world. But sometimes you can lose your motivation when all you hear is noise, negative noise, coming from a very loud place, not just in this country, but around the entire world. Now guys, let me just stop here. Now, she's obviously trying to guilt trip people into giving her show a chance, and we already know that this has nothing to do with sexism and has nothing to do with misogyny. Let's just tell it like it is. It's a very cringeworthy series. It actually stars Meghan Markle, which is the last thing you want to see or hear about. And this is just a show that can be easily done by any other creator on social media, right? That's literally it. And so we know that there's a lot of things going on right now. The fact that Ted Sarandos, alright, is bleeding Netflix tons of money right now because of how much money they were going to spend on this thing. Thankfully, they did actually agree to do some cost cutbacks on the holiday special and other Meghan Markle projects, such as reducing her payout by millions of dollars per project. We talked about that a couple days back. What's interesting, though, is the fact that she continues to actually put out this quote-unquote serious warning that all the feedback that you're hearing, all of the reviews and everything else, the critics, it's all driven by sexism and misogyny and how the society is crumbling. She's very much fear-mongering at this point, I think, and it really just goes to show you what her true character really is all about. Moving on, she continues, I am begging the silent majority to come forward, because one warning I also have to hand out is that there are many people out there who love my series. They are just so afraid to come forward, and I'm warning them as well that if you don't hear from those that are in fear of being ridiculed, I fear the With Love Meghan brand will be forever known as a failed brand, which is something I'm trying to prevent. I just can't allow something like that to happen, and so it is in my best interest to just inform and warn everyone that all the criticism that you are hearing in regards to my series, this is just coming from a place of sexists and misogynists who hold a form of jealousy against me, it seems. This is where we have to draw the line in the sand to work better on ourselves, because we can always do better, and that's what I'm trying to teach everyone. It's something I always try to educate others with in order to improve society as best as I can around the world. Now again, there she goes, going on yet another temper tantrum about how she believes that this is all an act of people acting very jealous toward her status in Hollywood, or her status in, a studio like Netflix. Has nothing to do with jealousy either. Believe me, nobody's jealous of Meghan Markle when it comes to, your normal, everyday person, right? Nobody's jealous about her. People are just pointing out the obvious. People are tired of, studios like Netflix and among others in Hollywood that are actually encouraging subpar content like this on programs, or should I say platforms, that people pay by the month for, or annual subscriptions. People are just very tired and exhausted about it all, and they just want to go back to normalcy. Now again, we know one thing about this is that Meghan Markle really is, I think, at this point just trying to really fall into criticism to create buzz around her, to actually have herself talked about. That's ultimately what is also going on, that's why even the mainstream media has been picking up on her. They've been actually calling her out when it comes to season 2. Even the mainstream media actually called out season 2 of how much of a big ratings disaster it was, so bad to the point that it didn't even really get that much traction in comparison to season 1. Not as many critics even came out to actually review this thing. There were actually a lot of silent critics, alright? She wants to talk about the silent majority, which doesn't exist. Those that love her show, doesn't exist really. The silent critics, very real thing. A lot of critics didn't even feel the need to review season 2 because they knew this was going to be a nightmare. But overall, this just goes to show you that Meghan Markle is going to do whatever she has to do to play the blame game, play the victim card, and just really try to put herself under the spotlight as much as she can. And it's really going to be quite interesting to see what this holiday special is going to look like. We know that based on the recent leaks that we talked about, there are going to be themes in there of the Grinch, of Santa Claus, and different holiday themes, Christmas themes that she's going to sing along to in that holiday special. I think it's going to be cringeworthy, to be honest with everybody out there. But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about Meghan Markle, her take on the general public, and their criticism against her. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.